Ohio football coach Frank Solich chimes in on the national issues of paying college athletes. Another whistleblower coming forward to speak out against President Trump. And in sports, a local high school volleyball team is on the cusp of making history. Newswatch starts right now. Schwartz, thank you for joining us. The Hocking Adena Bikeway's newest extension is now open to the public. The 1.6-mile stretch, named the County Road 24A extension, begins at the edge of East State Street near Holzer and runs to County Road 24A. It's the latest extension made to the bikeway and follows similar projects like the Columbus Road Spur. The next project involving the bikeway will be to connect it to Chansey, including a bridge over the Hocking River. Down is in the books, as local volunteers worked at the Athens County Fairgrounds Friday to help out the homeless. The event takes place around the start of October every year when colder weather makes it harder for those without a home to stay healthy. The event took donations from the public, such as warm clothes and personal care products, along with hosting booths for attendees to receive flu shots, health screenings, and help searching for jobs. With California recently passing a bill that would allow college student athletes to benefit off their own image and likeness, Ohio's 16th District Representative Anthony Gonzalez is working to allow the benefits nationwide. Gonzalez plans to propose a federal Fair Pay to Play Act that would allow student athletes nationally to profit off their likeness. Ohio football head coach Frank Solich gave his thoughts on the controversial topic.
Well, you know, I like things that are positive for players. But it's a tough call. I don't, you know, a lot of the money goes back into trying to do things for the betterment of your athletes.
Timeline for when he will propose the bill. 4 doctors.
Hello, I'm forecaster Adley Carwish here. And today it's been quite a rainy fall day. It's really not a very good Monday to start out the week. Right now, 57 degrees outside. It's been pretty cool so far. As you'll take a look here, it's been pretty cool so far. As it's right now 56 degrees, 91% humidity, pressure at 30 inches, 0.5, winds to the north at 0 to 5 miles per hour. Athens as 56, Ripley at 56, and all in the upper 50s. Columbus is actually at 62, which means we're getting out of that cold front, we're getting out of that rain. We're going to see some sunny skies tonight 44, so make sure you bring a jacket, even a coat. It will be clearing up overnight. Even though, and tomorrow it's going to be sunny, and let me tell you, Ben, we got a little bit more left to go of the rain, and it's going to be done by the end of the night.
Well, that is exactly what I wanted to hear. You know, today's the first time I saw people out in jackets and stuff.
Yeah, it's been a cool fall day.
It has. Well, thank you for the forecast, Adelaide. Doctors in Ohio and West Virginia have been indicted for allegedly overprescribing controlled substances through pill mill clinics. Troy Blago, Frida Flynn, Thomas Romano, and George Griffin were among those indicted in the region. The indictments come after the Appalachian Region Prescription Opioid Strike Force conducted a takedown of 13 individuals. The alleged conduct of those indicted resulted in the illegal distribution of more than 17 million pills. The number of hepatitis A cases in Muskingum County is now at least 50. The Ohio Department of Health declared a statewide community outbreak of the disease last June after observing an increase in cases in the area. Since January of last year, the number of cases in the state has passed 3,000, with 16 deaths related to the outbreak. A Guernsey County woman wanted for raping a 3-year-old is now in police custody. Guernsey County Sheriff Jeff Payton told the Zanesville Times that 45-year-old Melanie Young was captured in Meigs County and is currently awaiting arraignment. Young's live-in boyfriend Michael Smith is already in jail on similar charges after an arrest last month. He's being held on $2.5 million of bail. An Ohio man is facing murder charges for the January 2016 murders of a woman and her teenage daughter. Scioto County Sheriff Marty Donini announced on Friday the indictment of 22-year-old Christian Davis in the fatal shooting of 48-year-old Candace Newsom and 16-year-old Christina Newsom at their Lucasville home. Davis has been in Scioto County Jail since November 2018 on unrelated charges. He's expected to be arraigned next week. Governor Mike DeWine's gun control bill is ready to head to the Ohio Senate after the governor unveiled his plan earlier today. In an announcement today, Governor DeWine was joined by Dayton Mayor Nan Whaley to announce the Strong Ohio bill. It's co-sponsored by Republican State Senator Matt Dolan, aiming to, quote, preserve constitutional rights, expand treatment options, and prevent violence. The bill, among many things, would limit firearm access for those deemed by a judge to be a danger to themselves or others. France is bestowing its highest honor on 2 Ohio military veterans for their participation in the liberation of France during World War II. The Consul General representing France in the Midwestern United States says 93-year-old John Steinmetz of Lancaster and 97-year-old John Day Jr. of Galena will receive French Legion of Honor medals at their homes this week. The Consul General will visit Steinmetz at his home today and Day at his home tomorrow to give the awards. 20,000 General Electric employees will be losing their pensions. And a second whistleblower is intensifying accusations against the president. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
Whether by land, by air, or by sewer, these modern migrators are joining the daily commute.
Please mind the gap.
In and out of our cities. And while they face unfamiliar dangers, the rewards can be worth it. With one paw in the wild and one hoof in the city, these clever commuters are making the best of life in the wild metropolis. Only on PBS.
Three carefree brothers drop everything to tend to their aging grandmother.
¿Cómo puedes decir que no hay conciencia?
Párate, América, párate, por favor.
Discover the joy and sacrifice of being there till the end. America on POV.
The most dramatic moment of learning in my life happened in less than a second.
50 years ago, 5 scientists made a revolutionary discovery.
It was a flashbulb moment.
They learned how to heal a battered planet.
We found the rules, how systems work, how the world works.
Join these unsung heroes as they tell their unique story of hope, one that will change the way you see nature.
The end of dinosaurs.
The most important event in the last 100 million years.
Now, an extraordinary expedition.
At Ground Zero, investigating how this impact led to such mass extinction.
Reveals an unimaginable global chain reaction.
The atmosphere was emitting energy larger than the sun. They were toast.
And its aftermath.
It's important to look at what survived.
The Day the Dinosaurs Died on Nova.
General Electric announced Monday that it is freezing the pension plans of about 20,000 U.S. employees starting January 1st, 2021. GE also said it is freezing supplementary pension benefits for about 700 workers. Retirees who are already collecting pensions and employees with production benefits won't be affected. GE's pension plan has been closed to new hires since 2012. The company said it will offer a lump sum payment to 100,000 former employees who haven't started their monthly pension plan payments yet. It's also pre-fund $4 billion to $5 billion of its pension obligations for 2021 and 2022. New York City police took about 25 climate activists into custody for throwing fake blood on Wall Street's Bull statue Monday. You can see red paint on people's clothes. The protest was part of a global network of demonstrations known as the Extinction Rebellion. One protester was seen standing on top of the bowl waving a green flag. Protests and events around the world this week are meant to put pressure on governments to do more about climate change. A second whistleblower claiming to have first-hand knowledge of alleged wrongdoing at the White House is stepping forward. Suzanne Mulveau reports.
A second whistleblower coming forward, intensifying the accusations President Trump pressured Ukraine to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son. Their attorney telling CNN this whistleblower works in the intelligence community, has first-hand knowledge supporting claims made in the first whistleblower's complaint, and has already been interviewed by the intelligence community inspector general.
People around the president, professionals who are in the Oval Office, who are in the Situation Room, are watching what is happening and are finally saying, my God, this cannot happen anymore, and they are coming forward.
The White House continues to spin, writing in a statement, it doesn't matter how many people decide to call themselves whistleblowers about the same telephone call, a call the president already made public. It doesn't change the fact that he has done nothing wrong. But the White House transcript summary of that call shows President Trump repeatedly pressuring Ukraine's new leader to investigate his rival. Trump feels confident he can survive an impeachment vote if it goes to the Senate.
They have no choice. They have to follow their leadership. And then we'll get it to the Senate and we're going to win. The Republicans have been very unified.
But he's facing harsh criticism from some Republican senators after this.
China should start an investigation into the Bidens.
Senator Susan Collins joining Mitt Romney and Ben Sasse in rebuking the president's comment.
It's completely inappropriate.
Romney taking it a step further, calling the president's China requests brazen, wrong, and appalling, sparking Trump's fury on Twitter, assailing the former GOP presidential nominee's lack of loyalty by writing, "The Democrats are lucky that they don't have any Mitt Romney types. They may be lousy politicians, but they stick together." Most Republican lawmakers falling in line.
Remember Kavanaugh, it started with one complaint that wound up being unverifiable. This is Kavanaugh all over again.
Do you not trust the FBI? You don't trust the CIA?
No,
I'm just very confused here.
Absolutely
you don't trust
not.
either
After
of those
Peter Strzok
agencies.
and Lisa Page?
Okay.
After James Comey,
you believe the FBI and the CIA,
John
these
Brennan? No, I don't
agencies?
trust any of these guys in the Obama administration. I don't trust any of them.
You don't trust them now? You trust them now?
No, I didn't trust them back then.
Some Democrats claiming their Republican colleagues are treating Trump like he's a dictator.
This is wild, the lengths to which Republicans are going to try to avoid being criticized by this president.
2 more diplomats will be deposed this week. The U.S. ambassador to the EU and the former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, who was ousted in May. House Democrats are expanding their impeachment inquiry. Subpoenas were issued Monday to the Pentagon and the Office of Management and Budget. They're looking for more information about the freezing of foreign aid to Ukraine. The latest subpoenas broaden the House's investigation into President Donald Trump's interactions with Ukraine's president. According to a rough transcript of a July phone call, Trump pushed Ukraine to launch an investigation into political rival Joe Biden and his son Hunter. Trump has denied any wrongdoing. Both Joe and Hunter Biden have been cleared of any misconduct. American troops are being pulled from northern Syria ahead of a planned Turkish attack. That's according to the UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. This follows the White House announcement that Turkey will soon launch a military invasion into Syria. The move marks a major shift in U.S. foreign policy and effectively gives Turkey the green light to attack U.S.-backed Kurdish forces. The Kurds have been a long-time U.S. ally and have played a strategic role in the fight against ISIS in the region. The White House said Sunday that U.S. forces will not be involved in the operation. As of last month, the U.S. had about 1,000 U.S. troops who were operating in northeastern Syria. It's unclear if this was a full withdrawal from the country. Water may not be the #1 choice when it comes to hydration. Find out what one study is saying. That story is still ahead.
And coming up on weather, here's the thing with weather. It's cold and it's going to be cold with the rain going away. Coming up next.
The Philippine leader
has faced harsh criticism for launching a bloody drug war. Thousands of people have been killed in the brutal crackdown.
My campaign against drugs will not stop until the last pusher and the last drug lord are
The end of dinosaurs.
It's the most important event in the last 100 million years.
Now, an extraordinary expedition.
At ground zero, investigating how this impact led to such mass extinction.
Reveals an unimaginable global chain reaction.
The atmosphere was emitting energy larger than the sun. They were toast.
And its aftermath.
It's important to help us survive.
The day the dinosaurs died on Nova.
Three carefree brothers drop everything to tend to their aging grandmother.
¿Cómo puedes decir que no hay conciencia? Párate, América, párate, por favor.
Discover the joy and sacrifice of being there till the end. America on POV.
Can social media's grip on us today be explained by psychological experiments from the 1950s? How protests by black athletes today are connected to those of the past.
There's no such thing as staying in your own lane in sport.
Plus, humorous Andy Borowitz. Those stories and more. Retro Report on PBS.
Welcome back. I'm forecaster Adlai Carwish here. And today, 56 degrees right now, humidity at 91%, pressure at 30.5 inches, winds to the north at 0 to 5 miles per hour. So it's been a pretty cool day, and it's been raining for most of the day, but that should be ending shortly. Looking here, Columbus at 62, Chillicothe at 59, Jackson at 58. So yes, Columbus is at 62, but most of the rest of the area seems to be in the upper 50s to even mid 50s. Taking a look at the temperature map today, you can see it's been quite cold. We just had this little cold spurt all the way over here, and that's where we are. We see a little green there that shows in the 60s and in the 50s and 60s. But don't worry, most will stay in the 70s for the rest of the week. Tonight, 44 degrees. I would suggest bringing a jacket outside if you're going to go out, especially that there might still be a little bit rain wrapping up the night. But it should be clearing up as the overnight moves on. Winds to the north-northeast at 0 to 5 miles per hour. Taking a look at tonight, Athens at 44, Chillicothe at 43, Columbus at 45. So all in the mid-40s, like I said. If you're going to go out for a night walk tonight, make sure you do bring a jacket. Taking a look at tomorrow morning, 45 degrees at 8 a.m. So it's pretty cold outside. I suggest you bring a jacket if you got to go to work or you have early classes. At 10 a.m. it's 54 degrees. Still a little windy outside though, but it does warm up, and by noon it'd be 62. Don't really need that jacket anymore. It will be clearing up. The chance of rain will sort of disappear by then, and it'll be all good from there. Tomorrow, 71 degrees. Mostly sunny. It's a nice fall day. Winds to northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. It's just a beautiful day after the morning. Sort of you get the chance to go on a walk today. It definitely will be nice. We take a look all around. Jackson at 72, Chillicothe at 71, Columbus at 72. So all around, it's been a pretty good day tomorrow. Precip map, you're going to see here this cold front that brought all this cold air. That's why we had colder temperatures, and that's why we don't have record heat anymore. This cold front here brought all the cold temperatures, but also brought the rain that we experienced last night and today. And with tomorrow as well, you can see that low pressure system moving out there. And let's take a look at your 7-day outlook here. everything seems to be okay. Tuesday's going to be 70, and you see for the rest of the week, it's actually been pretty good outside, and then all of a sudden, once the weekend hits, that's when the rain comes back, unfortunately, and it will be cooler, 64 degrees. And I'll send it back to you, Ben.
Thank you, Adelaide. When you're thirsty and in need of a drink, water usually seems like the best idea. But in today's Health Minute, as refreshing as water might be, it may not be the most hydrating choice. Andy Rhodes explains.
If someone were to ask what's the best drink to keep you hydrated, you and most people would probably answer water. Well, hate to break it to you, but good old H2O may not be the best option. That's according to a study from Scotland's St Andrews University. Researchers compared the hydration responses of several different drinks and found that, yes, water does a pretty good job, but drinks with low amounts of sugar, fat, or protein do an even better job of keeping the body hydrated for longer periods of time. The study's author and professor, Ronald Maughan, says one reason has to do with how our bodies respond to certain beverages. Consider the volume. The more you drink, the faster the drink empties from your stomach and gets into the bloodstream, where it can dilute the body's fluids and hydrate you. Another contributing factor is a drink's nutrient composition. Researchers tested 13 beverages to see which would keep you hydrated for at least a 4-hour period. The top 5: skim milk, oral rehydration solutions like Pedialyte, full-fat milk, orange juice, and cola. Water and sparkling water ranked 10th and 11th. I'm Andy Rose reporting.
7 new cases of measles were reported in the U.S. last week. That brings the number of cases for the year up to 1,250. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports cases have been confirmed in 31 states. Most measles cases have occurred among people who haven't been vaccinated, and 75% of the cases in this outbreak have been in New York. The CDC says 119 people with measles have been hospitalized. The number of confirmed cases this year is the highest in the U.S. since 1992.
Hi, I'm Thomas Garverick. The Vinton County Girls High School volleyball team is on the verge of doing something they haven't done in school history. That story and more when Newswatch returns. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Three carefree brothers drop everything to tend to their aging grandmother.
¿Cómo puedes decir que no hay conciencia? Párate, América, párate, por favor.
Discover the joy and sacrifice of being there till the end. America on POV.
Whether by land, by air, or by sewer, these modern migrators are joining the daily commute. Please mind the gap. In and out of our cities. And while they face unfamiliar dangers, the rewards can be worth it. With one paw in the wild and one hoof in the city, these clever commuters are making the best of life in the wild metropolis. Only on PBS.
The most dramatic moment of learning in my life happened in less than a second.
50 years ago, 5 scientists made a revolutionary discovery.
It was a flashbulb moment.
They learned how to heal a battered planet.
We found the rules, how systems work, how the world works.
Join these unsung heroes as they tell their unique story of hope, one that will change the way you see nature.
The end of dinosaurs.
It's the most important event in the last 100 million years.
Now, an extraordinary expedition.
At Ground Zero, investigating how this impact led to such mass extinction.
Reveals an unimaginable global chain reaction.
The atmosphere was emitting energy larger than the sun. They were toast.
And its aftermath.
It's important to look at what survived.
The day the dinosaurs died on Nova.
Welcome back. I'm Thomas Garverick. It was a wild finish in Buffalo over the weekend for the Ohio football team. The game went into overtime. Buffalo scores a touchdown on their first drive, but the BAT went wide right. That would come back to haunt Buffalo. Ohio's first drive in OT, it's O'Shawn Allison bursting through, 5-yard touchdown run to tie the game at 20. So Ohio has a chance to win it with a made PAT. Louis Zervos, all reliable. That's good. Ohio wins 21-20.
It's a tremendously satisfying win. As I look back on my career, this one ranks up there in terms of having a team that has done everything they can to try to have a special season.
The Ohio soccer team in action over the weekend, taking on Toledo on Friday. Olivia Molesky finds the net for one of Ohio's 4 second-half goals, and then it's Olivia Page sneaking it past the goalkeeper. Ohio beats Toledo 4-0 on Sunday now. Ohio taking on Bowling Green, all Falcons in this one. Hannah Dolphus from way downtown. Ohio falls to BG 3-1. And then across the street, Ohio field hockey in action as well. Ohio taking on Longwood on Saturday. Game tied at 1. Leah Warren fires. Corinne Baker gets credit for the goal via deflection. Regardless, Ohio wins 2-1. Then on Sunday, taking on Ohio State, Buckeyes flex their muscles in this one. Sarah Charlie, the effort, the diving goal. Bucks roll 6-1. The Vinton County Viking girls volleyball team is having one heck of a year. They're 17-1 and have already clinched a share of the TVC Ohio Championship for the first time in 35 years. This is a young team in MacArthur, but that's not stopping the Vikings from being the top of the conference. The Vinton County Vikings girls volleyball team needs just one win to
win TVC outright. I mean, it's been since 1984, so that's just going to be really exciting. We're not going to know how to handle it.
This year we're more prepared. We're wanting to win. It's mainly Sydney and Josie's senior year. We're trying to get a number up there.
The Vikings are undefeated in the Tri-Valley Conference at 10-0. The source for their success, chemistry.
The seniors, they really just opened their arms to us and really took us in. And they really showed us that they were there for us for anything. Whether it was volleyball, whether it was school, they just were our big sisters.
They're all so good. They work so hard. I just love them. And this year we just gotten so much closer. And we've had sleepovers together. We're doing everything together. It's just so much fun.
It feels like a family with these kids. I mean, I've been around them. Obviously, my niece is on the team, so I've been around a lot of these kids since they were 3 years old, 4 years old.
The Vikings only have 11 players on the team, 8 of them being just sophomores. So it took time for this group to hit its stride.
And to come to that varsity level, a lot of that was just the inexperience, and you could see there were nerves in a lot of those games we lost, and it was just almost like a panic instead of being confident in playing, and that's the big difference that you can see in these girls.
1 year later, it's a team loaded with talent and gushing with confidence.
The TVCs was our first goal, and now once we get that, hopefully, we're going to try to push in the tournament. We want to make a big run, hopefully get a district championship and a sectional championship.
All right, let's get up.
The Vikings can win the TVC outright for the first time in program history tomorrow night at River Valley. WOUB will have the coverage of that game. I'm Thomas Garverick, and that's it for sports. Back to you, Ben.
Thank you, Thomas. A group of scuba divers submerged 30 feet beneath the Atlantic Ocean's surface in the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary to take part in an underwater pumpkin carving contest. Nearly 24 artists used dive knives and other tools to carve their jack-o'-lanterns. Carvings included stingrays and octopus, jellyfish, and traditional toothy grins. They had to keep the naturally buoyant pumpkins from floating away while they carved. Finned and gilled yellowtail snapper fish swam close to the action. And now let's head back to Adelaide for a final look at the weather.
Hello, let's take a look at tomorrow morning here. 45 at 8 a.m., 54 at 10 a.m., and 62 with clearing up at noon. Taking a look at the seven-day outlook here, 70 degrees here, and it's going to be clear throughout the week, but rain's coming on Saturday. I'll send it back to you, Ben.
Thank you, Adelaide. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org. Have a great night.
The Philippine leader leader has faced harsh criticism for launching a bloody drug war. Thousands of people have been killed in the brutal crackdown.
My campaign against drugs will not stop.